You know when you hear someone speak and think, wow, this person has class? It's not by chance. The global elite has a secret code of conversation that 99% of people don't know. And today, I, Carol, will share with you the unwritten rules that separate a common woman from a truly elegant woman. Have you ever noticed how the protagonists in movies like The Holiday or Emily in Paris always sound sophisticated, even when talking about mundane subjects? It's because they know the nuances of elegant conversation that I've learned over my 39 years observing truly refined women. Therefore, if you want to be seen as a classy woman in any environment, you need to master these rules. But attention, most people break these rules without even knowing they exist. If you want to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and leave a like if you want to have more success. Learn to be elegant and transform your elegance into something lucrative because, let's face it, elegance that doesn't open doors is just fantasy. And speaking of traveling with elegance, if you want to be a sophisticated traveler who knows how to behave anywhere in the world, you need to know my ebook, Be Elegant When Traveling: Global Etiquette for the Sophisticated Traveler. The link is in the first pinned comment. I'm Carol, creator of Lucrative Elegance, and I believe every woman deserves to know the secrets that high society uses to stand out. Because elegance isn't a privilege of those born rich, it's knowledge that can be learned. Rule number 1. Elegant conversation is never about you. The first rule that nobody tells you is that elegant conversation is never about you. Sounds contradictory? It's exactly this contradiction that separates elegant women from the rest. While most people use conversation as an opportunity to promote themselves, the elegant woman uses it as a tool to make others feel interesting. When Reese Witherspoon converses in interviews, notice, she always asks questions that allow the interviewer to shine too. This happened recently during the promotion of Where the Crawdads Sing, so she masters this art. But many women do the opposite. They turn every conversation into a monologue about their own experiences. Rule number 2. Master the strategic pause. The second rule is mastering the strategic pause. High society doesn't converse like we do in Brazil. They have their own rhythm. Observe how Catherine Middleton, Princess of Wales, speaks at public events. There's always a subtle pause before responding, demonstrating that she's truly considering what was said. This happens because she was trained in this etiquette, but the common woman responds immediately, as if afraid of silence. Here's what I discovered. Silence isn't empty. It's pure elegance. When you ask a question and genuinely wait for the answer, when you allow natural pauses in conversation, you demonstrate control and sophistication. That's why women from the global elite always seem so composed. They're in no hurry to speak. Rule number 3. The art of neutral topics with depth. The third rule is the art of neutral topics with depth. Elegant conversation avoids both the superficial and the controversial. You'll never see a truly refined woman discussing heated politics at a dinner, so they master the art of finding the perfect middle ground. But this doesn't mean being boring, it means being intelligent. Topics like art, travel, literature, and culture are favorites of the elite because they allow demonstrating knowledge without polarizing. When you watch interviews with Gwyneth Paltrow or Anne Hathaway, notice how they always redirect controversial conversations to cultural or creative aspects. Therefore, they know that elegance is also diplomacy. Rule number 4. Never ask about money. The fourth rule is never, ever ask questions about money, neither directly nor indirectly. Where did you buy this? Might seem like a compliment, but to the elite, it sounds like inappropriate curiosity. The elegant woman expresses admiration without investigating origin or price. This happens because, for those with class, the value of things isn't the point of conversation. Have you noticed how Amal Clooney never asks, how much did it cost when complimenting something? She says, what an interesting choice, or I love your style. Therefore, she understands that elegance is about appreciation, not investigation. But most women make this mistake constantly, without realizing how invasive it sounds. Rule number 5. Master body language. The fifth rule is mastering the body language that accompanies elegant conversation. It's not just what you say, it's how your body speaks too. The erect posture, constant but non-intimidating eye contact, hands that gesture in a contained way. This happens because the elite understands that communication is a complete package. Observe how Queen Mary of Denmark behaves at royal events, always leaning slightly toward the interlocutor, demonstrating genuine interest. Therefore, She knows that the body is part of elegant conversation, but many women concentrate only on words, forgetting that 55% of communication is nonverbal. Rule number 6. Never monopolize the conversation. The 6th rule is never monopolizing the conversation, even when you know a lot about the subject. The temptation to show knowledge is great, but the elegant woman understands that demonstrating intelligence is different from exhibiting knowledge. This happens because true sophistication includes intellectual humility. When we watch interviews with European royalty or American high society women, notice how they always leave space for others to contribute, even while being clearly intelligent and informed. See how at World Economic Forum press conferences, the most respected executives do this naturally. Therefore, they know that elegant conversation is a dance, not a solo show. But insecure women often compensate by talking too much about what they know. Rule number 7. Graceful redirection. The 7th rule is the ability to gracefully redirect when topics become inappropriate. Someone started gossiping maliciously? The elegant woman doesn't participate or reprimand. She simply changes the course of conversation with mastery. This happens because direct confrontation is rarely elegant. A phrase I learned and use constantly. How interesting. Speaking of interesting things, have you ever... And done. Subject change without drama. Therefore, you maintain harmony without compromising yourself with vulgarities. But most women either participate in gossip or make a moral scene. Both options are inelegant. Rule number 8. Show genuine curiosity within limits. The 8th rule is demonstrating genuine curiosity about people, but always within appropriate limits. Elite conversation asks questions that allow others to open up without feeling invaded. How was your experience in Paris? Is much better than, why did you go to Paris? This happens because the first version gives freedom to respond, the second sounds like an interrogation. When you watch talk shows with high society guests, notice how questions flow naturally and always allow the interviewee to choose the depth of response. Therefore, they understand that elegance is also about giving space for others to feel comfortable. But common conversations often sound like police inquiries. Rule number 9. Never use conversation to boast. The 9th rule is never using conversation to boast, even subtly. The famous humble brag is the opposite of elegance. The refined woman lets her achievements speak for themselves through others, never directly. This happens because true confidence doesn't need constant validation. Have you noticed how truly successful women, like Oprah Winfrey, rarely mention their achievements in casual conversations? When it happens, it's always in the context of helping or inspiring someone, never to impress. Therefore, they know that elegance is about mutual elevation, not self-promotion. But insecure women turn every conversation into an opportunity for self-promotion. Rule number 10. Perfect timing for entering and exiting. The 10th rule is perfect timing for entering and exiting conversations. The social elite knows when to join a group in conversation and, more importantly, when to withdraw gracefully. This happens because they understand natural social rhythms that go unnoticed by most. It was a pleasure talking with you, followed by an elegant withdrawal is much more sophisticated than staying glued to a conversation that has already run its course. Therefore, knowing when to stop is as important as knowing how to start. But most people stay beyond the comfortable point, creating those awkward social moments. Rule number 11. Never use inappropriate language. The 11th rule is never, under any circumstances, using profanity or inappropriate language, regardless of the environment. I might seem old-fashioned, but elegance has non-negotiable standards. The refined woman expresses all emotions with appropriate vocabulary. This happens because true class is consistent. It doesn't change depending on the company. Even in modern series like Emily in Paris, observe how Emily maintains clean language even in stressful situations. Of course, she's not real, but she reflects a standard that high society values. Therefore, refined vocabulary is a trademark of elegance. But nowadays, many women think profanity demonstrates authenticity when it actually demonstrates lack of verbal repertoire. Rule number 12. Master the art of intelligent compliments. The 12th rule is mastering the art of intelligent compliments. It's not about praising everything, but about making refined observations that demonstrate good taste and attention to detail. I love how you combine these colors is infinitely more elegant than, wow, what a beautiful outfit. This happens because specificity demonstrates true interest and knowledge. Observe how at Met Gala interviews, the most sophisticated guests always make specific comments about embroidery technique or historical inspiration of dresses, never just how beautiful. Therefore, they know that elegance is in the details of observation and the knowledge they demonstrate. But most people make generic compliments that sound automatic and empty. Rule number 13. Always seek genuine human connection. The 13th rule, and perhaps the most important, elegant conversation is always about genuine human connection, not about impressing. When you truly care about people, when you listen attentively, when you contribute meaningfully, this shows naturally. This happens because refined authenticity is the foundation of all true elegance. The secret the elite always knew is that people remember how you made them feel, not what you said about yourself. Therefore, invest your energy in making others feel interesting, valued, and heard. But most women use conversation as a stage for personal performance, completely missing the point. The difference between a common woman and an elegant woman is exactly in these nuances. The elegant one understands that conversation is art. It has rhythm, technique, purpose beyond the surface. That's why she always seems so sophisticated, because she masters a code that few know, the deeper dimension. But there's an even deeper dimension to these rules that I need to share with you. Because one thing is knowing the techniques, another completely different thing is understanding the philosophy behind them. True conversational elegance isn't performance. It's internal transformation that manifests externally. Rule number 14, elegance reflects character. The 14th rule is understanding that elegance in conversation reflects elegance of character. There's no point in applying these techniques superficially if inside you continue being petty, envious, or competitive. This happens because authenticity always shows through, and sophisticated people have sharp radar for detecting falseness. The truly elegant woman cultivates generosity of spirit. She genuinely wants others to shine, feel good, succeed. It's not strategy, it's who she is. When you develop this inner generosity, all conversation techniques flow naturally. Therefore, inner work is as important as outer work. But many women try to apply these rules as tricks, maintaining competitive mentality underneath, and this always reveals itself. Rule number 15, cultural adaptation. The 15th rule is mastering the art of conversation in different cultures and contexts. If you intend to move in international circles, you need to understand that conversational elegance varies between cultures, but respect and education are universal. This happens because the world is increasingly connected, and the modern elegant woman is also cosmopolitan. In the United States, people appreciate polite directness and genuine enthusiasm. In France, they value subtlety and cultural knowledge. In Japan, respectful silence is fundamental. But in all cultures, kindness, attention to others, and modesty are valued. Therefore, adapt the style while always maintaining the essence of education. But many Brazilian women commit international faux pas for not understanding these nuances. Rule number 16. Use elegant humor. The 16th rule is knowing how to use elegant humor as a social tool. Laughter is powerful but must be used intelligently. Elegant humor never humiliates, never excludes, never offends. It unites people and relieves tension. This happens because the sophisticated woman understands that humor is social responsibility. Well-dosed self-irony is always elegant. I'm still learning not to get lost in the Paris metro is charming. Intelligent observations about common situations. Interesting how we all become meteorology experts during elevator rides. Generate smiles. But avoid jokes about absent people, specific groups, or sensitive subjects. Therefore, use humor to include and cheer, never to exclude or diminish. Rule number 17. Know when not to converse. The 17th rule is understanding that conversational elegance also means knowing when not to converse. Not every moment is appropriate for social interaction. During meals in contemplative silence, in morning environments, during artistic presentations. This happens because the educated woman reads the environment before acting. Signs that it's not time for conversation. People clearly concentrated on something, naturally silent environments, libraries, temples, emergency or tense situations. Respecting these moments demonstrates superior social sensitivity. Therefore, elegance is also in what you don't do. But socially inexperienced people try to converse in any situation, causing discomfort. Rule number 18. Develop your conversational signature. The 18th rule is developing your conversational signature, that unique quality that makes people remember you positively. It could be your genuine curiosity about cultures, your knowledge about art, your ability to make interesting connections between apparently distinct subjects. This happens because authentic personality is magnetic. Discover what you naturally do well in conversations and consciously refine it. If you have a facility for making people laugh, develop your elegant humor. If you have knowledge in some area, learn to share it gracefully. Therefore, build reputation based on your genuine qualities, not artificial persona. But many women try to be who they're not, creating discomfort for everyone. Rule number 19, the power of quality questions. The 19th rule is understanding the power of quality questions. Superficial questions generate superficial answers. Reflective questions generate memorable conversations. What motivated you to choose this career? Is infinitely better than, what's your job? This happens because quality questions demonstrate genuine interest in the person as a complete human being. Some powerful questions. What's been exciting you lately? Logically, what was the most difficult decision you made recently? Zrenia. If you could have dinner with anyone from history, who would it be? These questions reveal personality, values, and dreams. Therefore, you create appropriate intimacy quickly. But banal questions keep conversations on the surface eternally. Rule number 20, master active listening. The 20th rule is mastering the art of elegant active listening. It's not just staying quiet while the other speaks. It's demonstrating through body language, facial expressions, and small comments that you're truly present. This happens because active listening is the greatest gift you can give someone. Elegant active listening techniques. Lean slightly toward the person. Maintain appropriate eye contact. Make small confirmation gestures. I understand. Occasionally reflect what was said. So you're saying that. Avoid looking at your phone, preparing your next speech while the other speaks, or interrupting with your own stories. Therefore, you offer total attention, which is rare and precious nowadays. Rule number 21, navigate difficult conversations. The 21st rule is learning to navigate difficult conversations while maintaining elegance. Not every conversation will be pleasant. Sometimes you'll need to deal with unpleasant people, delicate topics, or tense situations. The elegant woman doesn't flee these situations but navigates them with grace. This happens because strength of character is an essential component of true elegance. Strategies for difficult conversations. Maintain calm and uniform tone of voice, use neutral and factual language, avoid defending yourself or counterattacking, seek common ground when possible. If the situation becomes unsustainable, withdraw gracefully. I need to reflect on this, or let's agree to disagree. Therefore, you maintain your dignity even in challenging circumstances. Rule number 22, conversational elegance as a superpower. The 22nd rule, and this is fundamental for those who really want to stand out. Understand that conversational elegance is a superpower in the modern world. In an era where people are increasingly distracted, anxious, and superficial, the woman who masters the art of genuine conversation becomes irresistibly attractive. This happens because she offers something everyone wants, but few find: real connection. The opportunities that open for a woman who converses with elegance are infinite. Professional doors open, relationships deepen, influence expands naturally, not because she manipulates, but because she genuinely elevates the level of any interaction. Therefore, this investment in herself returns multiplied in all areas of life. Common mistakes that destroy conversational elegance. Now, I'll share with you the most common mistakes that completely destroy conversational elegance, and that 90% of women make without realizing. You know this one? It's when the person is just waiting for their turn to speak without really listening to what's being said. The result? Disconnected responses, questions already answered, repetition of information. This completely destroys conversational flow. Mistake number 1, waiting to speak syndrome. I was going to the market, not the usual one, the one on my house corner, but the other one farther away because there was a promotion. Stop right there. Elegance is in conciseness. Give sufficient context, but don't turn every story into a soap opera. Mistake number 2, excessive unnecessary details. Oh, you went to Paris, I went too, but I stayed 3 weeks and stayed at the best hotel. This isn't conversation, it's competition. And competition is never elegant. The sophisticated woman celebrates others' experiences without needing to prove hers were better. Mistake number 3, conversational competition. Where do you work? Oh, and how much do you earn? And your husband? Do you have children? Why not? Curiosity is good. Invasion is terrible. Let personal information emerge naturally. Mistake number 4, interrogation disguised as interest. Telling intimate details of your life to people you barely know isn't authenticity. It's lack of boundaries. Maintain mystery and social appropriateness. Mistake number 5, unsolicited public therapy. The truth about developing elegance. Here's a truth few women understand. Conversational elegance isn't innate talent, it's developed skill. I wasn't born knowing these things. I learned by observing, making mistakes, practicing, refining. And if I managed at 39 years old, you can too at any age. The secret is conscious practice. There's no point knowing the rules if you don't apply them consistently. Start with 1 rule per week. This week, focus only on asking better questions. Next week, practice elegant pauses. Build the habit gradually. And remember something important. Conversational elegance isn't about being perfect. It's about being the best version of yourself in social interactions. There will be moments when you'll slip, say something inappropriate, commit faux pas. The difference is that now you have awareness to correct course quickly. The truly elegant woman doesn't fear making mistakes. She fears not learning from mistakes. She doesn't seek perfection. She seeks constant evolution. She doesn't want to impress everyone. She wants to genuinely connect with those who matter. A final reflection I want to leave. In an era when communication is increasingly digital and superficial, the woman who masters the art of face-to-face conversation has extraordinary competitive advantage. You're not just learning etiquette. You're developing a social superpower. Remember, you deserve to be seen as the sophisticated women you are. Sometimes it's just a matter of knowing the rules of the game that nobody ever taught you. Now you know them. Use them with wisdom, practice them with consistency, and transform with elegance. Because in the end, conversational elegance isn't about speaking better. It's about living better through deeper and more meaningful connections. And that, my dears, is priceless.